Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Roll It Back. This is a show that doesn't not exactly exist on its own within Disney Plus or the Disney Channel, which it originally aired. Uh, this is the kind of a behind-the-scenes mini short series of shorts, docu series, and saying series way too many times. Uh, that goes with the show. Just roll with it. Now, this is a kind of a unique show from what I garnered from. I only watched like 3 out of the 11 or so episodes. This is from 2019. The episodes run anywhere from like 2 minutes or a minute all the way to 6 minutes or something like that. So yeah, it's a fairly quick watch. I could have watched all of them, but I haven't seen the show that it's based on, so it didn't feel it didn't really grab me to make me go, oh, man, I gotta make sure I watch all of these, because in total I would have blown an hour watching something that was a reference to something I hadn't seen yet. Now, when Just Roll With It gets picked, I will then probably revisit this, but maybe we'll see. But I mean, it's your for the most part, this is your standard Disney Channel comedy, but with a big twist. It's filmed in front of a live studio audience, which most shows don't do a whole lot of these days. I mean, you had Big Bang Theory, I think, was one of the last few, only because I know that because I've been to this studio where they filmed it in Warner Brothers studio back in the day. I can't think of how many other shows still do a live studio audience thing. But even more so, what even more important is the fact that the audience is pretty much made up of kids, and those kids get to decide what happens to the people in the cast. So, what I learned in these first 3 episodes, that this is an improv show. So whatever's thrown at them, they gotta go with it. And yeah, I'm sure there's elements to this where they are aware of the possibilities. I mean, it's what they signed up for, but they also have to pretend like in these sort of looking back on the episode, they have to act like, oh, we had no idea what was going on, and maybe they haven't, maybe they didn't, but there's some fairly major things like at one point the audience had to choose what kind of haircut this guy got, and they all chose mohawk. I mean, so he came in and got his hair cut into a mohawk. They even let his actual barber, they surprised him and actually had his own barber come in and cut his hair for that thing. So these are the kind of things you don't see during the episode, I'm guessing. There's a lot of. So you don't realize it when you're watching the show that a lot of this is decided by the audience, I guess. I don't know if they make that break that and go, here's what they chose. I have no idea, but in this case, they tell you right out. This is how what they chose, what they didn't choose, what were the options, and of course they went with the mohawk. And there's other situations where it's very very Nickelodeon in the sense that they are getting slimed with all sorts of stuff falling on their heads, just buckets of goo or fake barf, and I don't know. They complain about how they were like, oh, that fake barf smelled like crap, and it was poured all over them in a movie theater set for some reason. There's also situations where they're like, oh, the mom gets handcuffed to a cop, and they aren't given lines. They literally have to improv their way through the scene. Again, supposedly, I don't know how this is. This is a supplemental to the real show, to the regular show, but again, Hollywood has its way of making magic, and yes, maybe this is absolutely real, and also not. I mean, they're never gonna. This is a kids series, so they're never gonna give these people anything beyond what they can handle. It's a little girl, a little boy, and 2 adults that have to roll with it every single time a choice is made. And so it's in their contracts that they're probably not going to be given anything. They're not going to shave the little girl's head for, on the whim of a bunch of 8-year-olds. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, there's nothing going to be too scatological or really creepy or anything. So yeah, it's a bunch of children going, hey, let's have that person covered in boogers. I don't know. And there's, or what animal is gonna, when they open the box, what kind of animal is going to pop out? Is it going to be a panda or is it going to be a lizard? And it's, of course, a lizard. They can't get a panda to do that. It's just, but the idea is they had a big, I think a monitor lizard in one of the sequences, and the little girl has to wrangle this thing. She was okay with it. So it's not ever going to be a kind of thing where she seemed pretty okay. Some little girls might be like, oh, hey, there's a giant lizard. I'm not touching that. You can't pay me enough. So they had to know ahead of time that she could handle a lizard. She may have gotten a list of all the animals that she'll interact with well before the episode was ever taped, and they're like, okay, if she's good with any of these, we'll pick one of these, or let the kids pick from these things, and of course the lizard gets chosen. It's all meant for reactions. The weird thing is it's just one season. I realize it's 2019, which means that a second season would have possibly came out in 2020, but hey, pandemic. So them being in a stage setting with a bunch of children and getting goop all over each other, and yes, they were half the time they're wearing masks or goggles when they go to a 4D movie theater, so they know that when they're putting on the protective stuff in these episodes, that yeah, they're going to get gunk thrown at them. Well, when you have a pandemic and all this stuff just getting everywhere, yeah, guess what? I think they're going to just cancel that. They're just not going to. They're either going to cancel the show or just take it out of production until things get back to normal. So we'll see if this ever returns. But until then, you've got, I don't know how many episodes because we haven't watched it yet. This, however, we did. So just roll with it is the actual main show. Your kids may have already seen this. Roll It Back is a bunch of shorts that just says, here's some behind the scenes stuff and how we went about making this show. So it's kind of goofy. It's probably the only, well, not the only, it's probably more scripted in their presentation here in these episodes than it is in the episodes themselves. So yeah, it looks like it's a fun show. Looks like these people are really into it and having a good time. But yeah, COVID probably kept a season 2 from happening. Unfortunately for them and their fans, because I have a feeling this kind of show would have lots of young fans. It, from everything I saw, it looked pretty weird, so pretty fun. I know I would get a kick out of it if I was 8 years old in a TV studio and getting to slime all the characters that I like. So anyway, let's pick tomorrow's episode.
310.
310. Ha! Okay. This is a Disney Channel classic. We've got a series. We haven't had a series in a long time. Whew, yeah. This is... Yeah. So, we're not gonna watch a ton of episodes of this. I kind of know what it's about, and I think, anyway. I've never seen it, but if we're gonna be watching Lizzie McGuire. So, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Plays Lizzie McGuire, but yeah, I think they were supposed to make a sequel series to this of her all grown up and put it on the Disney Plus thing, and I think that got canceled. Don't know. Even before the pandemic. But hey, we're gonna go watch the original, probably in a very square screen, kind of grainy, feeling kind of 90s. It wasn't then from the 90s. Gosh, I don't know. I'm so old. So yeah, Lizzie McGuire. We'll watch 1 or 2 episodes on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow.